And further information. My name's Nick.
Your name?
Yeah, for example.
Right, I'm bidding for the life support systems, and that's bead trials in the European sea bass. I'm doing this because they're based in the FAO, and it's a natural nursery for them, and these are protected by the Environmental Agency, especially in the terms of December to March, which is their spawning season. They're at risk of depletion because of their slow maturity rate and a large commercial consumption. They're eaten everywhere, and they're sport fish as well. It actually takes a female 6 to 7 years to reach 42 centimetres, which is the time it takes for her to be able to mature and breed. I based my study on two former studies. That is Lanari et al. 2005, which was a 12-week study comparing soy meal to fish meal in a captive bass to see whether there's a soy meal fish meal mix and just fish meal, and to compare whether it affected the growth rates, because they're looking for an alternative to the fish meal because of the increase in price it takes for them to make it, because the price of fish is rising. This is soy meal is a plant-based high protein meal, and they believe it can. In this study, he used it, and he said there wasn't much difference, but it was only a 12-week study, and I'm looking to enhance that. On top of that, the other one I'm using is Tibbet et al. 2010, and his study was comparing frozen krill to fish meal, which is the natural source of food for cod and halibut, which was his target species. They're all teleosts and bony fish, so I feel that the bass would also benefit from this study. And the idea is to compare fish meal in one tank to 25% soy meal and 75% fish meal in the second tank, 50% of each meal in the third tank, and the natural food, which is found in the FAO, which is prawn and sand eel, to compare whether the cheap alternative can compare with the fish meal, and whether the natural selection is better than all the fish meals. I'm aiming to do this up to from 6 to 8 months, which is a big difference in the journals that have previously done it, because they're in a lot shorter period. This way it can be more viable data, and if you gave it to the fish market, it would be really important data, because it can show long-term effects. Because there's a belief that soy meal soy will increase fatty deposits in the fish, and that's something I'll be looking out for, as well as the growth rate. Also, I'm looking at this because I believe that if the fish that live naturally in the FAO are not growing to their full potential, and this will be shown by the natural food selections, compared to they could be artificially fed to increase the stock, increase the healthiness, and to help them survive from this overfishing. The main equipment will be provided by the university, because it's a basic tank setup. But I need basically looking for soy meal, fish meal, juvenile bass, and ways to catch prawn and sand eel. That's basically it. So any questions?
And where are you going to get your juvenile bass from?
I was thinking from the FAO, but obviously that's can't happen in between December to March, because that's when the ban is. I am aware that there are legislations, and I need to look further into that to see whether I can take them from there. If not, there are farmed fish which I can buy. However, it's not directly linked to the FAO, which is what I was aiming for.
Have you tried approaching the local bass fishermen and tell them what you're doing, and will they aid you in your?
I have a source that said he could get me the bass I need, as he's linked with the fish farms. And
no, but that's fish farms. But I'm talking about the guys that actually go out bass fishing.
Oh, go out bass fishing? No, I haven't approached them yet. I've spoken to some locals about where the bass are located, where the best spots are, but I haven't looked at like proper fishing.
Well, I mean, if you spoke to the locals and
tell
them what you're doing, and then get organised so you go en masse and get all your, because then you can presumably, if you get a selection, you can size what you want.
Yes, exactly. But what I do to avoid like variation is I'll obviously have different sizes. The idea is if I measure them to start with, I'll be looking at how they increase in size. But though the only issue with that is if the bigger fish could bully the food of the little fish, making them grow less and then grow more. And that's what I've got to take into account.
Segregate.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose if you bought farm fish, you know their exact age, you could buy them all the same.
That's the.
So if it takes 6 years for the females to get to 42 centimetres to breed, what age, which part of their life are you going to try and work on?
I was looking at the...
Do they have a spurt, so to speak?
That I haven't looked into, to be honest. I know that in the first few years they grow quite rapidly.
Right.
This journal said about 1.5% a week.
Oh, really?
A week, yeah. But that was purely on a fish meal.
Yeah.
And that might have been under special conditions.
Yeah.
Whilst I'm looking to replicate the fowl in the tanks because that's where I end up getting them from. But I believe that after like the first few weeks, it's just consistent from then on. And I'm aiming to get them a couple of inches, like smaller bass, because of the availability of equipment. I can't have 4 massive tanks.
No.
I need, size that I can put in the lab.
Yeah.
And I think the smaller ones would be a lot better off anyway, because the larger ones would have been more used to.
Too restricted.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you very much, Craig.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. If you could send in Carrie, she's last.
Yes.
That'd be wonderful, but not
Thank you
least.
very much.
Thanks, Craig.
My name's Craig Stearman. I'm doing life support systems and feed trials within European sea bass. My project bit, I don't feel that they fully understood what I was aiming for, but I think it went well. You can cut now.